the Pirate Handyman, where we teach you how to become more self-sufficient and save some coin for your treasure chest. If you dig what we're doing, join the crew. Just hit that subscribe button down below, and if you hit that ship's notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new tip comes out. So what we're going to do today is we're going to hang a long curtain rod, and it's going to require three separate attachments, so we want to make sure we get them all right. So what we want to do is the first one, since we're going to be covering two windows, we want to make sure that we're going to be exactly in the center, because an eye will see that even though you might not know exactly what you're seeing. It'll just seem a little bit off. So we're going to make sure we do that first. And then the second thing is we want to make sure we're consistent in how far we come down with each of the holes. So what I've already done is I've already measured exactly where I want the bottom hole to be. So I just put a piece of tape here, and I'm going to use the level to make sure that I'm lining these up correctly. So I'm going to grab my trusty pencil here and climb up. So I measure here, and this is 7 inches, a little over 7 inches. So what I want to do is make a mark here of where the exact center is, even though I'm going to be measuring up here. So we've got the 7 inches, so it's going to be just a little more than 3.5. And I'll put a mark right there. So now, with my mark there, I run this all the way up to the top to where it's on the bottom of the crown molding there. Line it up. And now make sure that I've got it level. So I get that lined up. Get it lined up back here, make sure it's level. Now I'm just going to make one dot right here at the bottom of my tape, and that's where my first hole is going to go. Now I'm going to move over here and do the side. Now I'm going to have a 2-inch overlap on the side where I'm going to be putting this. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to come over here 2 inches. All right, so now I want this to overhang by 2 inches. So I'm going to measure 2 inches and mark it. Then I'm going to take my level, and again I've got it marked. So I line it up with my 2 inches. Now I look at my level. Make sure I get level, go back to my 2 inches, and I will make my mark. Now we'll go back to the other side. So now I'm going to mark my 2 inches over here. Up against the crown molding, take a look at my level, get it level, and then make the mark. So now the next thing that I want to do is I want to see if I'm going to be drilling into a stud, or there's nothing behind there and I'm going to have to use a molly. So I'm going to look at my mark here. I'm going to use the stud finder. And it looks like I've got a stud about right here. mark is far enough over. So now I'm going to drill a pilot hole first and see if I'm hitting anything. So yes, I am. So I'm not going to have to use a molly on this one. And I can feel I just hit something. All right, since I'm going into solid wood, I want to use a bit that is going to be just smaller than the screw itself. So when you hold it up like this, you hold it up to a light or something, you want to see threads on either side of the bit, but you don't want to see the actual core of the screw. That's the solid part. And that way you'll get a good enough hole to hold the screw. Now as we do this, we're also going to measure for the second hole. Now here's your brackets, and you can see in this bracket there's a hole and then kind of a slot. So what this is for is you actually put the screw in there and then it seats. So it holds. So where I want to drill the hole, down here at the bottom is the holes that I've already drilled. So I want this to be right at the top. So what I'm going to do is get my pencil. So now I've got my trusty pencil. So I've got this. I'm going to put my mark right at the top of this slot. Finish the pilot hole here, and then drill the hole up here. And guess what? So turns out I was probably just hitting an insulation board. So now I'm going to have to put the bigger bit in so I can put in the molly. And you want this bit to be just as big as the end of the molly. Push the molly in. Now we're going to get our screws started. Now if you're going to use a driver like this, a driver bit, you want to be careful and you don't want to ram it all the way in, because you will strip the plastic on the molly. So we'll go about that far. Then we're going to take our bracket, slip it over this one, push it down on top of the other, and then hand tighten it. There we go. The same thing over here on the other side, or on the middle actually. Okay, so now this is a 3-piece rod, so we're going to have to put it up there, and we want it to be as balanced as possible. So what that means is this center rod, so we want to get about halfway, which is that right there. So we'll put this on. Then when we put it up here, there's a screw that's back here that we have to tighten. And so we just tighten that loosely. Pull this out to where it's overhanging a little bit on that side. Pull this one out so it's overhanging a little bit on the other side. And it looks like we're doing pretty good there. All right. So now you can see it looks straight, looks level. Thanks for joining the Pirate Handyman. Hope you found this helpful. Like I said, if you dig what we're doing, hit that subscribe button down below and join the crew. And if you hit that notification bell, you'll be notified every time a new tip comes up. Because hey, what we're doing here is trying to make you self-sufficient and save coin for your treasure chest. Here's to smooth sailing.